Alright, we are back with another fun and exciting lab. 2-13 this week, count characters. So, in my opinion, this lab is super confusing, but super easy. Uh, so, if the input is n Monday, the output is 1. You see how n is before Monday, that's your character, and they're saying, hey, how many times, why don't you count how many times n shows up in your string? If the input is Z, today is Monday, output is 0. There's no Z in that string. If the input is N, it's a sunny day, 2 N's, 2, and so forth. Uh, you get what they're doing. The real confusing part is they throw that letter, and nobody types a letter before words like that all too much. I've never seen a scenario quite like this one. Uh, but maybe there's something in data analytics and a reason in there, and parsing and grooming that data. Who knows? But writing the code isn't too hard. Just a few lines. So the first thing you're going to do is get that string uh, from the user. In this situation, we call it a string. That is what it is that we're requesting from them. So that's going to be an input into the program because they didn't give you anything to say that this is this. Stupid keys. All right. So there it is. It's blank to get whatever input. They showed you multiple scenarios, and yet they didn't say keep any of this. So it'll all be inputted by the program, and 10 points. So it'll be attempted multiple scenarios. All right. So in the front you had a character, right? So again, that character was different for everyone. So input character equals, it was all on the same line. That's the key. That's the real trick here that they try to get you with. All of it is on the same line, which means it's all coming from one input. Uh, so in this situation, our input character equals that one input we just set here. And yes, they're at this moment going to store the same thing. Because that would store the same thing, right? Again, but we can change that. We only want to store the first, again, Python is a 0 index, always trippy, uh, the very first letter that's in that string as our character. So we're taking the input string, we're storing the very first letter, there's our input character. So in this situation, N would be stored. All right. Next up, you're comparing two things. You're comparing the character. I'm talking with my hands. You're comparing the character to the string, uh, and you're counting how many are there. So taking that first character again, we set that and doing that comparison. So you need to, not a math formula, but you're essentially setting a formula for this to operate by, right? Uh, so what are we doing? We're comparing. So, uh, you're going to compare it to the original, the character to the original, right? So, uh, let's work with the original, because again, this just established the character. And how would we know what to compare it to? So, we're not counting the first letter. Uh, that's inputted, that's giving you the character. We're counting the rest of the string. So remember, 0 starts the first character, 1 would be the next character. Just like we set our tokens in 2.1, this would be the same way. So we're going to tell the program we'll start after the character we set, and we will end. So we could tell it to end after the 8th character, the 90th character, but in this situation, leaving it blank, is going to run it through the entire string. So if somebody inputted an entire novel, it would tell you how many times the letter N or Z showed up in the entire novel. Alright, see how I gave a space? So again, when you're writing in efficiency and best practices, your variables are stored in your sequencing, so you can easily look, these are my variables, your if and else would be space, your if and else, this is what my program's doing, and then if you had a display print line, right, so that way the user could easily see, now it's ending and this is what's displaying for somebody to review your code. Alright, in this situation, our output is a number, right? That's it. Our output is just a number, so print. Alright, we're going to take our formula variable. So we're going to take that, and we're essentially, it's starting at that 1, and we're going to count. So just like it says, we will use the count command, and then what are we setting the count to exactly? So that's where we established the char character, and we just want to know what the count is to that character and how many times it shows up. So input character, double close. Alright, I think I got it. Yep, there we go, 10 out of 10. Hope that helps this week.